Welcome, everybody, to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, America's #1 podcast for new real estate investors, where we know that finding discounted properties is the most proven path to financial freedom. I am your host, Brent Daniels, and I am telling you guys, if I can do it, so can you. So let's get started. On this podcast today, we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit exciting. It's called Where Are They Now? About 7 months ago, we did an interview on the podcast with Pete Christensen out of Louisville, Kentucky. And at that time, let me give you some stats here. On April 23rd, he found out from his pastor about wholesaling, okay? On April 30th, he joined the TTP family, the TTP program. And on May 31st, he closed his first deal after 31 days. I mean, absolutely incredible. We rang the bell. He made $5,000. It's incredible. Now, is that life-changing money? No, but it's the truth. It's the understanding that you can make income in this business. Since then, he's been on a tear. He's been consistent. He's been building up his momentum. So with that, I'd like to reintroduce back to the podcast. Pete, say hello.
Hey, what's up, Brent? What's up? How you doing?
I'm excited. because I've never done this before. You know what I mean? Going back from somebody that started brand new into, where are they 6 months later? Because a lot of this, Pete, honestly, is, okay, they did a deal, but how's their business now? Okay, they did a couple deals, but are they still progressing? Because people want to make a lifestyle out of this. They want to make a business out of this. And I think it's really important to go back and look at the steps that you took so that people can also follow those steps. So let's talk about the last 6 months. Can you give us some stats? How many deals have you done? What have you made? What have you netted from it for you and your family? Let's start there.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Brent. It's an honor to be here and love to kind of break down the business. So yeah, just hit the ground running with you. You gave me a blueprint for success and just plugged in and started following the action steps. Essentially, we contracted our first deal and got it sold in 31 days. And then from there, I really, we've done 9 transactions since starting the business, and we have 2 slated to close this month, and then we have another 3 that are under contract. So got a little bit in the pipeline and just kind of nurturing the leads and moving through the action steps, following up with folks. So yeah, we've netted, to date around 81,000,
awesome.
Which has been great, kind of averaging around 8,900 an assignment. Nothing to brag about, but it's something, and we're only getting better. And kind of at the end of the day, we're out here to solve problems and help property owners that are in a tough spot. And then at the same time, we love to provide tons of value to our investors, make sure they're getting a great deal. So I'm sure as I kind of hone the skills, we'll increase those assignment fees. But yeah, it's been great.
100%, and it's already starting to. There's a couple different strategies that you have talked to me about, whether you are closing on them, cleaning them up a little bit, and doing like a wholesale. If anybody's not familiar with it, when you get a property under contract, and you assign that contract, you're essentially selling the contract. You're selling your right to purchase the property. Now, what Pete has done a couple times is he's been able to close on these deals through either his own money or money that he borrows from private money lenders, and been able to clean them up and make even more because he's putting them on the open market, which exposes it to the most buyers out there. So if you are starting out, an interesting strategy is if you can get the private money lenders behind you that'll support you, and they understand that you got a great deal. And by the way, the only way they're going to support you is if you have a great deal. Is to close on those and put them on the market as you're building your cash buyer database. So speaking of that, how's your cash buyer database now? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so we're steadily growing it. We're right at around 1,000 cash buyers on our list. I want to keep growing it. A strategy that you've mentioned on this channel, and I've heard from others, is once you have so many, you want to definitely reach out to other wholesalers and trade up. And that's been awesome. There's been some really helpful folks here in Louisville that we've traded lists, and that's been amazing. And I found that a real big part of my success has been collaborating with other wholesalers and with other investors, and then also just giving away a bunch of free value, not trying to hoard information, because if you really want to find stuff out, you can figure it out. We have the internet, it's 2020.
Yep.
So there's no secrets. There's just things you don't know. And essentially, yeah, I heard you say that.
Yep.
So essentially, I've been just trying to build trust with a lot of people and giving them free things like what I'm doing and how I'm finding success. And then also seeing if they want to, JV on deals. And that's been great.
Incredible. And how do you start those relationships? Because this is really powerful, especially going into this year in 2020. It is so super important and critical to make sure that you're making relationships in the industry and that you are the guy that people bring deals to if they can't get them sold, or if they're afraid of the process, or if they're just getting started. If you become an authority in your market, and really what it means is that you are, one, you communicate very well. You actually answer your phone, you answer your text. I can't tell you how many really successful people never answered their phone or text or whatever. So really, there's not a lot of competition if you're the guy or gal that's out there, and people need help. People need some sort of assistance when it comes to selling their deals. You can be that person if you are actually answering your phone and being there. And also, just getting face to face and building that relationship is really super important, because I'm telling you, these are free deals out there, guys. It is free deals that you can do every single day of the week. If you are the guy or gal that people know that they can rely on to give them the straight answer, communicate really well, and help them make money, you are going to do so well. So I 100%, Pete.
Yeah, I think if you're honest with people and you're just straight up, you're a good communicator. You, like you said, respond to text messages, call them on the phone. I think people really appreciate that, and that creates that reliability. And when you're reliable and people get that, it starts to get comfortable. Then they're gonna naturally be drawn to you because it's easy. And if I can make it easy, then that's gonna increase our business.
Love it. And so when we talk about the wholesale business, and you mentioned it, really what we're doing is we're sourcing real estate opportunities for cash buyers in our marketplace, okay? Whether that cash buyer be a flipper, whether that cash buyer be a renter, or building it up for their portfolio, for their rental portfolio, or if they're going to occupy the property. That's what we do. We find those opportunities. Obviously, we're solving the problems from the seller, but the way that we make money and the way that we make incomes and big checks, and this business becomes a cash machine for us, is to have those buyers and to really build it up and be active with it and get out there. So let me ask you this. With that, there's three parts to this business, right? There's lead generation, there's conversion, and there's disposition, right? Are you wearing all three hats?
Yeah, currently I'm doing it all. So, everything's getting done. Can't say to my own personal standards, but it's all getting done. And that's, I think, the challenge of being an individual business owner and not having a team around you. So I've been relying on and building friendships with other wholesalers to help me with the acquisitions. And I can't say, that's been tremendous, because, getting 100% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So if somebody brings you a deal and you split it, who cares? It's something, it's great.
Yep.
And otherwise, you wouldn't have had that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think that, and more people will jump on it. They're going to listen to this podcast. They're going to listen to you, and they're going to take that advice. I absolutely love it. But what I think is important here is when we're starting out in this business, okay, you are not a business owner. Okay, you are a highly paid professional. Now, this is just saying if you are starting with low budget, when you're starting without, a ton of people working for you already in different businesses, or you're transitioning. I'm talking about you've got a full-time job, you got a part-time job, you're starting this from the ground. You are a highly paid professional, and that's great. Build it up, get that bank account so heavy that then you can start leveraging each parts of those business: lead generation, conversion, and exit strategy or disposition. So you're in the position right now where you're a highly paid professional. somewhere around $10,000 a month, doing what you love, getting out there, getting your hands into these deals. What do you think? And this is just, we didn't talk about this before, but what do you think needs to happen in your mind, in your business? How much do you think you need to save up in your business account? Or at what point do you think you start hiring people to start leveraging your business?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Brent. I would like to see, at the end of the day, like I've heard people say, if you don't know your metrics, your KPIs, then you really don't have a business, and you just have you've created yourself a job.
Yep.
And so I don't think I've determined that number for us yet. I think somewhere in the ballpark of a year of savings.
Love it.
Basically, I need to be able to support somebody. If I take them on as an employee, they're now my financial responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, that's an important thing to me. I'm not just going to tell somebody something and then it not happen. And that's why I've, bought some of these deals and then put them on the market, because I'm going to close, whether it's with hard money or with somebody else's money, it's closing. If I get your house under contract, it will sell. And so same with, if I hire somebody, I want to make sure that I can take care of them and pay them well. And so, yeah, I would say, until we have about a year of savings, then we would probably put somebody in the hot seat. At this point right now, a buddy of mine, Steve, we've been collaborating on a lot of stuff. I'm kind of treating him as a 1099. So we just split stuff that he brings to me, and he's out there hitting the streets and he's hitting Facebook and he's working leads and he's a go-getter. So he just brings stuff to me, and that's, I'm able to leverage Steve in a good way, because he's bringing stuff and then we're able to make something out of it. So
love it. Can I give you some coaching here?
Yes,
All
please.
right, I'm going to coach you here, and this is for everybody out there listening, not just for Pete. And this is something that fundamentally changed my family's financial life, and it will forever, okay? Pay yourself first. Like literally, there's that book, Pay Yourself First, or A Profit First. Literally, like you need to pay yourself first. You got to take everything off the top. Everybody talks about investing into their business and by getting these people and that people, and then all of a sudden, you're taking home less than you were when you were doing it by yourself. Okay, so you got to be in that position where you have so many leads that your business is just overflowing. You can't handle it. You can bring somebody on. You take their financial responsibility in your hands, but you pay yourself first. The most important thing about this business is it needs to build up your family's financial freedom. Right?
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people get stuck in a trap where they want to hire a bunch of people. They want to be a leader. They want to be a manager. They want to say that they've got these big, organizations, or they do a ton of deals and they're netting nothing. I am telling you, that's the dirty little secret about the wholesale real estate business. It is keep the money. Pete?
Yes.
Keep the money. Keep it flowing. Don't just set a limit. Don't be like, I'm only going to pay myself $5,000 or $7,000 or $10,000 a month. No, that's a job. You should be bonused every time that you're succeeding. I pull out it every single month like crazy, and I'll tell you what happens. When your business account gets lower, you get hungrier. You get like why you are just wild with enthusiasm and energy to go out and get more deals. So it'll explode your business. For anybody out there listening, pay yourself first. Don't just keep it in the business. Don't just start hiring a million people, because it's going to add so much stress to your life. Pay yourself first. So let's talk about a deal. I want to break down a deal with Pete Christensen. I want to know, give me some juice, something exciting, something that we can, really tear apart and show everybody exactly how to get a deal, what mentality to have, and how to be successful. So let's break it down.
All right, let's do it. So a deal that came across us was this amazing deal. I got Driving for Dollars. I was using the Deal Machine app, and I sent this owner a postcard, and eventually his wife called me. She called me from the postcard that I sent to their house, and I had to keep following up with her because she said she was busy and her husband was busy. So I followed up with her 3 or 4 times and finally got her husband on the phone, because to her, she was just trying to get in touch with me to get me in touch with him. So finally got in touch with the owner, and it was actually a really great opportunity. the house, so I go to the house. He had bought the house for his daughter to go through college. She was, long gone out of college, 12 years removed. And the house just kept running itself and running itself. And eventually he's like, these tenants are going to be leaving in 2 months. He didn't tell me all this. I pieced it together after I, talked with him. But essentially the motivation was is he didn't want to have an empty rental, and he wasn't really into rentals. So this was their only rental property.
Yeah.
And yeah, so essentially I go to the house. It's a slam dunk. I looked up the value.
What does that mean? Pull it back, because a lot of people like a slam dunk when you walk into it. I find this so often, Pete, is in the first 30, 45 seconds of meeting somebody, of getting them on the phone, on a cold call, oh, this person's going to do business with me. This is a deal, right? What were the little things that you were sensing? What were the signals that you were picking up from this homeowner that made you feel like this was going to be a slam dunk?
So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. The only thing I can offer is speed and convenience. That's it. That's all I got. But it's great because a lot of people want it. And this guy owned 2 businesses. He was extremely busy. And so the speed and convenience of getting rid of his house quickly was very attractive to him. He didn't want to mess around with it. He had a lot of other things going on. And so when I got to the house, we made a connection, and I could tell that this house would sell. It was a decent neighborhood, and we started talking price. Walking through the house, I knew that the house was, I could sell it. It was outdated, but it was there.
When you say you made a connection, was it he was smiling, he was conversating with you, he was open, he was like, I need to get rid of this? You guys are like instantly just in alignment? What is it?
So essentially, I could tell he liked me.
Got it.
It's been a little while since the conversation happened, so I can't remember if there was specifics that I did, but I'm fairly likable, and I'm able to kind of make a connection with folks. And so, I think we talked about his daughter and his, that used to live there, and he started sharing with me about the neighbors. And so at the end of the day, like, if you want somebody to start to trust you, just stop talking and let them talk. When people talk, they start to feel heard. And when they feel heard, they start to like you because they trust you. And so that's just a natural thing about when you meet somebody, you want to ask them questions and listen so that you can learn about them, and it also makes them feel heard. So not only do you get more information, but you're also helping build that relationship, that connection. And really, I'm all trying to help, so I go there and I think it's a potential deal. And then when we start talking, I realize it's definitely a deal because I ran the comps and the information, and I had an idea in my mind. It was going to be around 135. But it got even better than that, as the market appreciated. But so we talked price. I told him, I said, listen, Keith, I'm not a great negotiator. I've read books on it, but the best I can do, they tell you to start low and then, go up higher, but I'm just going to give you my best price up front. The best I could do is $75,100. I know that might not work for you, but that's what I could do for your home.
I love that approach. I love that. Hey, listen, I'm not a great negotiator. I read books on it. I'm not very good. I don't want to mess around. Pete, oh my gosh, if more people use that line, more people use that, just being genuine, just being out there and just saying that, oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah. Oh, everybody. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yep.
So, at the end of the day, I was being truthful, but I'm reading a book, or I just read a book about it, and there's actually some psychological things about that's really powerful, which I didn't.
You better believe it.
Read the book, but so he said, I could tell just reading his body language, that he was really kind of like, I don't know if he was nervous, but something changed, and he was like, we're talking numbers, and he's getting nervous. So he's like, I think that might work. Let me just, check with the bank. So he needed to check about his mortgage payoff and all that. So he got back with me that day, and we had a signed contract. So I didn't leave the appointment with a signed contract, but I knew from our connection that he was going to give me an answer. So I wasn't worried about like him trying to stiff arm me. It was just that was he needed more information from his bank to really give me an answer.
And I think what's important there is you started this whole thing off with, I'm pretty likable. And we talk about going on appointments with two things: certainty and likability. Those are the two most powerful things in this appointment: certainty and likability. And you're hitting it. And you're certain. You went with that approach of, hey, listen, I'm not a great negotiator. I read books on it. I'm doing this. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh man, this guy's like just being straight up with me. I like him. He's certain on his numbers. There's the certainty. He likes you. You're likable. Fantastic. You did both. Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks. So essentially, he gets back with me for 75. I'm excited. I think I could probably, based on the repairs that it needed, the updating, I could probably sell it for 99, and then somebody would have enough room in the budget to rehab it, and then either flip it or keep it as a rental at the 134 mark. And so I send it out to my baby buyers list. At the time, it was like 150 or something. It's pretty small. I was just getting started. And so I had a few nibbles. I had some people, one person gave me an offer of 95, but then he revoked it because he was afraid of the neighbor who was kind of a collector.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, well, forget everybody. If nobody wants to buy it, I'll buy it and I'll make the profit, because like you said earlier, there's 3 exit strategies on property. You can either wholesale it, you can flip it or wholesale it, or you can keep it as a rental. And so I came up with an idea well, it was through a lot of conversation with my father-in-law, but I came up with an idea to sell it to our company. So basically I got paid an assignment fee at closing.
Yep.
And then we took title, and then we did the light renovation, the cosmetic rehab.
Let's pull that back just a little bit. So you had it under contract under your personal name?
Yeah.
And then you sold it to you assigned it to your company name?
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. And the way that we didn't use our own money to buy the house, one important key in being successful is building your team. And what I mean by that is you need your title company, you need your real estate attorney, you need your lender, you need a tax professional to help you minimize your tax burden. You need your cash buyers. It's not just cash buyers. Like, you need these other people in your corner to really help you kind of make sure you can transact on deals.
Love it.
And so essentially I reached out to Mike Fallett, M&M Lending, and said, hey, would you lend on this house? He said, sure. And I said, would there be any possibility for me to, not have to pay at closing anything? And he said, well, and I think he did me a solid, because I said, listen, I'll cash flow the rehab. I'll use my own money to cash flow it if we can just show up to closing and take an assignment. And he's like, I think that'll work, because the numbers worked and it was a deal. He saw it was a deal. And so he was willing to do that. And basically at closing extracted $23,770 of an assignment fee.
Yep.
And so the sale price of the house was $99,000. And then we turned around, painted it, put some countertops in the kitchen, painted the cabinets, found some used appliances on Facebook Marketplace, swapped those out, changed out some light fixtures, and then, put it on the market.
So your budget for rehab was how much?
My budget for rehab was $6,900.
Okay.
But somebody decided they needed our air conditioner more than we needed it.
Yeah.
And we had to put a roof on the house for the new buyer. So we were all in at like $10,500 or $11,000 roughly on rehab. So so we ended up selling it for $149,000. And so our walk away was at closing, we got paid $21,775. So we were kind of net profit on the whole deal was $45,500.
Incredible. Hold on a second.
Woo!
Incredible. How much? You want to repeat that real quick? How much was it that you made?
$45,545 to be specific.
Love it. And let me ask you, when you get that kind of payday, what does that do to your brain?
It's amazing. We can do this. There's so many opportunities. I've heard you say this, Brent. Robert Kiyosaki said there's an opportunity of a lifetime every week.
Every week.
You got to keep your eyes open, because there's so many opportunities out there. We're just not able to see them because we're not looking for them. And when you start to train yourself to look for opportunities, like you see a vacant lot so we just leased an office space here in December, and it's been great because we have little girls at home, and I love my girls, but it helps me focus at work. So I come to the office, but as I drive through the office district, there's like vacant lot here, vacant lot there. I'm like, if I could get that under contract, I could probably sell that for a lot. So there's just opportunities all over that you don't realize. And who knows, maybe somebody's sitting on a vacant lot that they don't want. You just got to call them,
Love
talk
it.
to them.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And things are, you've still got, you said you have 2 deals that are closing. You've got hot leads in the pipeline, right?
Yep. Yeah. Let me say one other thing about building your team is you got to get a good real estate attorney. If you're in Louisville, Kentucky, the best one is Harry Borders at Borders and Borders. Let me tell you, this guy is amazing. He makes the deals close, and he's so smart, and he understands the investing world. And
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, I got 2 in the one because of Harry, and going to closing, and then so I have 2 pre-closing. I'll show you guys my scoreboard over here.
Yeah. And guys, if you're just listening to the podcast, you can watch us at Brent Daniels Real Estate on YouTube. So you can check it out.
Yeah, so essentially I got 2 that are going to closing this month, and then I got 3 under contract that I just need to get a cash buyer for. So
Love it.
We're moving them along.
Love it.
Yeah.
People that want to reach out to you. How do they reach out? How do they connect with you? Maybe they're from a different market. Maybe they're in your market. What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, let's do some deals. Reach out. You can reach me on email, Pete at newhopehomebuyerslllc.com. I'm on Facebook, and so just reach out. I don't even know what my handle is on Facebook, Pete Christensen. But essentially, I love collaborating. I love giving free advice. I'm not as smart as you, Brent, but I can. I've been there. Can help a little bit.
Listen, like you said, there's no secrets, just stuff you don't know yet. So, give some advice to somebody just starting out.
Yeah, essentially, if you have a goal in mind and you want to get to that goal, you need to realize that where you are today probably won't get you to that goal, because if you were where you needed to be, you'd already be at that goal. So you need to recreate yourself. That's what I had to do when I was, we didn't go over this, but I was without a job. I was in corporate America for over 10 years, doing well, doing great. Company got bought out. They told me to take a hike. And so I'm without a job, and I had to recreate myself. And so if you want to get somewhere, if you want to accomplish a goal, you got to think about the set of behaviors that you need to change or replace so that you can get to that goal. And they're very small changes. And, at the end of the day, successful people are willing to do what unsuccessful people are not.
Love it.
It's very simple. So you just got to learn from your failures, and you got to read. If you don't read, you will not be very smart.
Well, reading plunges out our brain. It's the plunger of our brain. It's what gets all the bad stuff out and puts all great stuff in and sprinkles it, and all of a sudden you got these seeds of thoughts and positive mindset in your brain, and now all of a sudden it's leaking out everywhere. You've got energy and enthusiasm and passion and purpose and fulfillment, and you win. So there you go. Pete, thank you so much. Everybody out there, a couple resources that he mentioned. Deal Machine. Deal Machine is a Driving for Dollars app. If you use the coupon code TTP, you get the biggest discount in the country. You get $9 off a month, so it's only $40 a month. So TTP is the code there. Go to talktopeople.com. Become a TTP insider. We have unbelievable downloads. Unbelievable. It is such a huge resource for you if you're just starting out, or if you're looking to scale your business at talktopeople.com. Become a TTP insider. And if you want to join these maniacs like Pete, the absolute best of the best in the country, the most proactive group in real estate is the TTP program. Go to wholesalinginc.com/TTP, wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Scroll down, check out what the program's about, check out all the testimonials. If it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. I'd love to work with you personally. And that's it. Pete, thank you so much. Thanks for being on again. You are just an inspiration. You gave some really, really great hacks and tips that everybody can implement right now. Because remember, guys, this is not about education. This is about instruction. You've got action items here. Go out there. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You do not have to be average. You do not have to be stuck in your job. You do not have to have low savings. You can change your financial future through finding discounted properties. So until next time, guys, as always, I encourage you to talk to people. Love you. See ya.
See ya.